Namo Namaha.
Hello all, thank you very much on sparing your valuable time to attend this hangout to learn about Sanskrit. It shows your immense aspiration to know about this mother of many languages. Before getting in depth to know about Sanskrit, we will talk a bit about overview of today's meeting. We'll have a brief introduction about overseas volunteers for better India, followed by introduction about Harsh Ji, who will be our VIP today, and Harsh Ji will talk about his Samskrita Bharati organization. Then we will have questioning based on the inputs by our volunteers, and depending on the time availability, we will take some questions from the audience and we will conclude. We all know Sanskrit is one of the prime languages of many languages in this world. It can be considered as mother of many languages. I like to give a brief introduction about OVBI. OVBI is called Overseas Volunteers for Better India, and many of you here know about OVBI. This introduction is for the newcomers who will be joining, hoping so, with OVBI. OVBI is a non-profit organization started in May 2013 in order to spread awareness about voter registration during the last general election. In recognition of its effort, Election Commission of India awarded OVBI for their service. Very soon, OVBI gained its momentum across major cities across Europe, North America, and many parts of Asia, with support from many NRIs. OVBI started many key initiatives. One of them are Project Udan. We are building a school to provide holistic education in a safer environment for kids from brothel areas of Sonagachi area. Now I'll get into the main part of our hangout. I'll introduce Harshi. Harshi is an IT management professional and professor at Sheridan College. He teaches web development. He holds a MCA and MBA degree from IIM Ahmedabad, and, and due to his ardent passion for Sanskrit, he became a key volunteer of organization Samskrit Bharati, and for last many years he's been the pioneer to spread the Sanskrit knowledge across Canada. Harshji, can you please talk briefly about your organization Sanskrit Bharati to us?
Dhanyavadaha, Namo Namaha. Thank you, OVBI, for giving this opportunity, and Dhanyavad Shaktiji for your kind words. Let me begin. I am just a Chhatraha. I am a student of Samskritam. Yes, Samskrit Bharati in Canada has been active for several years, and we have been fortunate to have so many volunteers that we could conduct around more than dozens of shibir or workshop where we have gone to places like Niagara, Scarborough, and even far off places within Ontario, Windsor or London, Ontario, where we conduct weekend workshop or one-day workshop or a half-a-day workshop. That is just the beginning of how Sanskritam can be used in daily life as a conversational language. After the workshop, we have ongoing opportunities where all those who are interested, whether they have just started it or whether they knew a little bit of Sanskritam, whether they are young or whether they are old, whether they are from any walk of life, we have so many avenues where they can continue their Sanskritam journey. It could be the in-person session, or it could be online teleconference, go-to-meeting classes as well. So Samskrit Bharati in Canada might be just new or young, couple of years to say, but Sanskrit movement or Speak Sanskrit movement started by Samskrita Bharati is more than 3 decades old. To be precise, it started in 1981, and over the last 35 years, it has spread across the globe. And in North American continent, Samskrita Bharati just celebrated 20 years anniversary in the US. So Speak Samskrita movement as we speak is spreading across, and the day is not far when we will together create a Samskrita Vishwa. Rachayamo Samskrita Vishwam. So we will be wonderfully connected by universal language Sanskritam, and it not only uplifts, it unifies, it harmonizes, and a lot has been already said about Sanskritam, but I am glad there are many more today who want to know about how they can start their journey through this Hangout avenue. Dhanyawadaha.
Very amazing and inspiring, Harshti. You did a great job to spread this mother of mother language to the whole Canada. Thank you very much. Harshi, we here have some questions. Please, can we ask those questions to you now?
Yes, yeah. In fact, I would want this to be as interactive as possible. And Kshamyatam, usually we converse in Sanskritam, but I understand it will take one session or half a day session for all those who are joining today, and then we will be conversing in Sanskritam. So I will keep the medium of discussion as English with due apologies. We would welcome any question anyone has. Dhanyavad.
Harshi, this is the plan for questioning. Myself and Sonal will ask you the questions. To begin with, I will go with one of my favorite questions of all the listed questions here. What inspired you to work on this initiative of teaching spoken Sanskrit?
In fact, that's a wonderful question. I consider myself fortunate that when I was young, I already had Sanskrit environment. My mother was a Sanskrit teacher, but I am ashamed and sad to say that she could not speak Sanskritam then. So I had my love for the language long back when I was a young kid, and I started learning it the old grammar translation method. We all those who probably have grown up in India, they would have someday got in touch with Sanskrit as a subject because it was scoring, because it was easy. But unfortunately, it was taught the wrong way, I would say. It was the memorization that used to happen. So I had the love for language, but it is when I was in IIM, there was a volunteer session conducted by my colleague, and that's where at a very ripe age I got to introduce to this spoken Sanskritam, and I was amazed with the pace with which I was picking up the Sanskritam without even going in the complexities of grammar. I could in few days start conversing in daily life Sanskritam. And then when we moved to Canada, I came to know about Samskrita Bharati US conducting a weekend family camp. And we drove all the way from Toronto to New York, New Jersey, and we spent a wonderful 4 days in this family camp environment. That was Labor Day long weekend, I still remember, a few years back. And that's where I actually got so much impressed and inspired. And it was not just me, whole of our family. We actually went there with our young son, and we all three picked up so much of Sanskritam in just 3 days, and we figured out the wonderful way to spread it is to have more people get introduced to Sanskritam, and that's where we started learning ourselves. And even today I will say I am a chhatra. I am still a student, and it's a continuous journey, but on the way, if we can get more people learn the spoken Sanskritam, it's that's how it started. I hope I answered your question, but I can go on and on.
Thank you, Harshji. One of the greatest service that we can render to humanity is spreading knowledge. I can say from your thoughts that you are doing an awesome job. It gives me a chance to ask you the next question. Why is it important to revive
Sanskrit language
Sanskrit
in this
language
era.
in this era?
Yeah, in fact, that's a wonderful question. A lot of people, in fact, my colleagues and my friends, and some of them who consider I have gone to a foreign land in Canada, what is the need for Sanskritam at this age when it is 2016? But let me tell you, all over the place, there are enough people and enough research done that Sanskritam is a timeless language. You consider any other language, say for English, we are conversing in English today. The English that we talk today and the English that was just 500 years back is way different. So many languages, almost all languages, go through changes, and the reason they go through changes is because they are imperfect, because they need some distortions and they are easily outdated. Whereas Sanskritam and all over the globe, the researchers agree to this one point, whether they speak Sanskritam, whether they like Sanskritam, whether they consider Sanskritam as their mother tongue or some language of association or not. They agree to this thing that Sanskritam is so refined and so perfect that it has not undergone any distortion over thousands of years, not just hundreds, but thousands of years. So it is a timeless language that we are talking about. It is a universal language we are talking about. Now, imagine each one of us have some valuable possessions. You might have a diamond ring on the finger, or you might have a very costly golden chain on your neck. So all of us know the value of some ornaments, valuable things. Now imagine you have several of these things. Imagine you have tons and tons of valuable material possessions. To keep them safe, you lock them in a safety deposit vault, and you lock it with double lock, triple lock, so many keys, and then after a while, to keep the key safe, you keep it in such a place that you even lose the key. Now, this is what has happened. There is so much vast of knowledge that is all there in, be it medical science, be it mathematics, be it astronomy, be it dance, Natya Shastram. There is tons and tons of wealth in Sanskrit scriptures. The only thing is they are all in Sanskritam. And we actually see the knowledge even doing a lot of good to humanity. Let's say the yoga, there is so much hype around yoga and people are benefiting, but if you consider the actual origin knowledge is in Sanskritam, and if we go to the root, the Sanskrit scriptures, there is so much which is still useful and valuable in today's world when there are problems we see around us. So it is therefore very important. Now, what is the way? We do not need to go to a Gurukul to learn the Sanskritam.
So Harshi,
Yes.
how we can find out the key now?
Yes, so the easy key is you have already found out for last 35 years, the new method that we have seen, I have personally benefited, is the spoken Sanskritam, Sambhashan Sanskritam. So we start using it in daily life. When we start using it in daily life, it becomes so easy and you will be surprised with your own progress when you actually keep practicing Sambhashan Sanskritam. Very soon, be it your goal is to read Bhagavad Gita, be your goal is to read the Natya Shastram, so Mahabharatam, Ramayanam, there are so many scriptures, and not just religious scriptures, but even scientific knowledge. So yoga is a scientific knowledge. Ayurveda is for everyone's good health. So if you start Sambhashan Sanskritam in a very short span of time, Sanskritam will become your language. Right now, what has happened is we have, unfortunately, many of us have thrown it out as a foreign language. Once it becomes our own language, the scriptures that we have, that the key is the Samskritam. So once you have Sanskritam, you can open the vast knowledge that will not only uplift oneself as individual, but it also will benefit the humankind. It is a universal, it is The yoga, if you practice, it doesn't matter whether you are young or old, whether you are in Canada or in India, whether you speak Tamil or Marathi, you will still benefit from yoga. Same way, Samskritam will give you the key to the vast knowledge. Therefore, it is very important to revive it, bring it back. By the name language itself, it is something that is spoken. So there is a myth that Sanskrit was not a spoken language, it was only for Rishi Munis, it was only for reading scriptures, but that is a myth, that was a myth, and that has been already proven now with Sambhashan Sanskritam revolution, the Speak Sanskrit movement. There are thousands, lakhs, more than millions people all over the globe who use it in daily life. So when I lose my key at home, I have to go. I will ask my wife, Kunchika Kutra Asti. And it's very simple, straightforward. All of you can easily make out with this simple way of using in daily life.
Harshi, how long it takes to learn spoken Sanskrit, like regular household
Yes,
speaking?
it's in fact a wonderful question. So the Speak Samskrita movement, when it started in 1981 in India, the catch or the people got interested was that you can start, learn and speak spoken Sanskritam in 10 days. And the model there was the volunteers would conduct a 2-hour session every evening for 10 hours, just 20 hours, and one can start using in daily life. Now in here, Canada, we probably do not have that opportunity. So we have even put it even concise. The way cricket has gone from 5 days to 1 day to 2020, we now have, we started here with a weekend workshop, not 10 days, weekend workshop. And then we thought everyone doesn't have 2 days to spare on weekend. So we made it a 1-day workshop. And it has become so simple now that in just 1-day workshop, people walk out speaking thousands of simple sentences in daily life in just 1-day workshop. And it is just a beginning. Of course, you have to continue your practice, and we have ongoing online sessions as well. So if being in Canada, if you are worried of snowfall, you don't need to worry about that, because you can attend our weekly Abhyas work on GoToMeeting. If you want to avoid the highway traffic, you can do that. Yes.
Harji, after learning the spoken Sanskrit, how we can start to understand Vedic scriptures, like how we can direct without translation, we can understand the Vedic Sanskrit.
Yes, in fact,
so it is very close to like spoken Sanskrit, close to Vedic Sanskrit, or like how you define it?
In fact, it's actually again a good question. So, what's the point of knowing one more language? I can say my name is Harsh, or I can say it in Hindi, Mera naam Harsh hai, or I can say Mama nama Harsha in Sanskritam. But language is really useful when you use it as a key to the vast scriptures and knowledge. So everyone who wants to learn Sanskritam probably has some goal. I want to read Bhagavad Gita as it is in the original text, or I want to understand the Mahabharatam, or I want to go and study Narad Bhakti Sutra. So after you continue your spoken Sanskritam journey, and based on the time you devote and your interest, of course, it might take someone 3 to 6 months, or it might take a year, or it might take maybe 2 years. But we have seen people who within a year can easily understand Bhagavad Gita slok without any need for translation. So now Vedic scriptures, as we know, it's a vast ocean. And let me again remind you, I am just a Chhatraha. So I may not know about all the Vedic scriptures, and some of them might be having little complex Sanskritam. And some of them, like Bhagavad Gita, might be very easy to pick up. But the thing is, whatever is your goal, I have personally found this path as the easiest and most efficient way to get there. So if you want to understand the Rigved, Samved, Yajurved, Atharved, I am not the right person to say how long it will take, because I have personally not gone there yet. But I know I have tried the grammar translation. Unfortunately, I was put there in my young age, and I have now seen this Sambhashan Samskritam path as well. And I can tell you from personal experience the difference. The journey here is very fast, very interesting, very enjoyable, very enriching and uplifting. So Sambhashan Samskritam has helped me personally, and I can definitely pick up a Bhagavad Gita shlok and without need of much uh, external support, I can myself make out what the meaning is, and the happiness of understanding it firsthand is definitely immense. I hope that answers the question. So Vedic scriptures, depends which Vedic scriptures you really want to go after, and it depends how complex or easy it might be. But we have seen people start enjoying Bhagavad Gita scriptures and Ramayanam. Some of them are very simple Sanskritam, which can be easy. If you know, Bhagavad Gita is conversation between Arjuna and Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So it's a conversational, spoken model, right?
Harshji, I have a question. It's a very simple question. Can you throw more light on Sanskrit alphabet? Is it same as Hindi and some other
Yes.
Indian languages?
Yes, in fact, this is an interesting question because a lot of kids who want to join in Samskrit Bharati classes, they worry they may not know the script. So the script for Samskritam is Devanagari, and Devanagari is the same script which is used for Hindi language. Now there are so many Indian languages, they have been somehow related to Sanskritam. But the interesting thing is, Devanagari script, even if you do not know, you do not need to worry to begin your Sambhashan Sanskritam journey. Why? The reason I tell you is, we may be unfortunately introduced to Sanskritam through a wrong grammar translation method. But if you consider any language, the initial stage is listening part. So if you consider, if anyone on this Hangout has a kid at home, or obviously everyone was a kid when they were young, so they would have picked up their mother tongue out for initial couple of years. Some take months or some take couple of years. The kid is only listening. The elders around in the house, the parents. That's the first thing one does in learning a language, is listening part. So there is no script involved. You just hear the noises. Then the second part is speaking. After listening this for several years, the kid is taking everything in, and we wait when he or she will say the first word, and then they start speaking. There is no script involved yet. So the listening and speaking is the initial way naturally a language is learned or spoken. And then comes the reading where the script is required, and then comes the writing part. So Samskrita Bharati also uses this natural way of language speaking. So for everyone who comes to our session, we consider them as a kid, whether they are adult or not, because they have never spoken Sanskritam, many of us. So the same way we have rhymes in Sanskritam, we have songs in Sanskritam, we have wonderful things that we just make them listen, the simple Sanskritam, and then we have them speak. So we can have a small demo. Mama nama harshaha, bhavatah nama kim? Mama nama harshaha, bhavatah nama kim? So I said my name is Harsh, and I asked you what is your name, Shakti Mohan. So this is the listening part that goes in, and then there is the, you will respond back in Samskritam, and this is the starting of the Saral Sambhashan Samskritam. There is no script involved yet, and the good thing is we figured out, while being in North American context, there may not be many, especially the first generation, second generation, third generation folks who want to learn, go back to the roots, who want to learn Sanskritam, they may not know Devanagari script. So almost all our material has a Roman transliteration. So when I say Mama, I will also have written in the English alphabet M-A-M-A. Nama, N-A-A-M, Harshaha. So that is how we have faced this, and we have worked around that. If one doesn't know Devanagari script, their Sanskritam journey should not be delayed or hindered.
Very interesting, Harshi. You said there are songs in Sanskrit, and I love to hear a song in Sanskrit, but I will leave that one for future. This gives me a clue to ask the next question about mantras. Vedic Sanskrit mantras have powerful effect on human body. Is this true?
Yes, in fact, definitely the Vedic mantras are accomplished pieces of Rishi Munis. They have designed them based on the knowledge that they get from within, and that is always for the benefit of the human mankind. But again, I definitely would say I am a Chhatra, and I have not first-hand experienced myself. I have not chanted that many mantras, but there is so much power in Vedic mantras, and that is exactly what is said for even the Samskritam, Sambhashan Samskritam. People say it is so refined that when you want to speak in Sanskritam, when you speak in Sanskritam, your awareness, your alertness is elevated, and it is very much close to being in a meditative state. So this, without any effort, you are actually gaining the benefits of meditation when you speak Sanskritam. So not only the Vedic mantras, but the Sanskritam in general, the sounds itself has its own frequency and benefits. And as I said, I am just beginning to gain, because I am just a Chhatra. I will not say anything with authority on Vedic mantra, but definitely there is a lot of power.
Very inspiring, Harshji. You are not only knowledgeable, at the same time you are very humble to in keeping your knowledge up and showing to us. As- Harshji, how long you been teaching Sanskrit in Canada?
So I would say, in fact, I am actually, uh, yes, I do play role of Sikshaka, teacher at times, but I would say I am just a beginning teacher. But Samskrit Bharati has been in Canada. There are volunteers who have been teaching for 3 to 4 years now, and we have a teacher training as well. So we have experts from Samskrit Bharati US who come and teach us how to teach Sanskritam, and we also go to the Prashikshan camp that happens in US or elsewhere as well. And so our volunteers have been teaching for 3 4 years. That would be the same for me as well, and they all keep on learning and growing more and more, because there is no end to Sanskritam journey. Uh,
Harshji, is there a curriculum for beginners to learn Sanskrit?
Yes, we in fact have a beginner entry level curriculum that we start and that we conduct at all our weekend workshop that I mentioned, or a 1 day workshop or half day workshop. And then the ongoing 3 4 months practice journey happens on a workbook called Abhyas Pustakam. So that Abhyas Pustakam, we call it as, sometimes we call it as level 1. Once that is completed, we have level 2, and there are many books based on the interest. So there is a Gita Sopanam, so steps on Bhagavad Gita. So while you want to learn Sambhashan Sanskritam, you can step by step base it on the Bhagavad Gita, and at the same time, the concept is learning Bhagavad Gita through Sanskritam and learning Sanskritam through Bhagavad Gita. So that is another track. There is also a distance learning program. Let's say if someone doesn't want to go through this, or you want to go further after the Abhyas Pustakam, there are 4 levels of written exams. And Samskrita Bharati, Canada as well as US conducts this twice a year. So there are 4 levels. There is a Pravesh, Parichay, Siksha, and COVID. Once someone passes this COVID level of exam through distance learning, one is eligible to take admission in the MA Sanskritam program through distance learning. So if you are here in Canada, there is a university in India who will consider this COVID level as their entry level eligibility for their master's program. So right from using it in daily life to getting an educational degree up to master's level, there is nicely laid out all the options, and it has been refined over years. So yes, I hope that answers the question about the curriculum.
Sonal, do you have any questions from your side?
So how we can start from home now, like as a beginner?
Uttama Prashnaha, a wonderful question. So usually, because especially for adults, we have uh, some hesitation in picking up a new language. Specifically, when it is Sanskritam, we feel, oh, whether I am pronouncing it correct or not, whether I will make mistake or not. So we encourage, highly recommend that the initial hesitation can be removed in a one-on-one session. But you do not need to worry. Samskrit Bharati volunteers can go wherever there are, let's say, a group of 15 interested students. Now, the students can be adults or even little mature kids. It could be teenagers. So, if there is a group of 15 interested learners, our volunteers will go there and conduct either a half day or a one-day workshop based on the place and the requirement. So we have gone all over the places in Ontario, have not been gone outside of Ontario. Once we have this half day or one-day workshop, wherever there are 15 students, the later on, the ongoing abhyas work, the weekly session can be even done over, uh, as I said, GoToMeeting or Skype call or just teleconference. So we just need 15 people in one place, and it could be anyone's basement as well. We have done it in super duper classroom settings, as well as we have done it in a small basement as well. And we have gone all over places. So anyone wants to start, we encourage to have 15 uh, learners for a couple of reasons. One thing is our volunteers go to places, and if there are only one or two students, it is not efficient use of volunteers' effort. Second thing is you also learn from your colleague. So if you want to tell you how to use Bahuvachan or the plural, we don't want to bore you with grammar. So if there is not a plural group, we don't want to really just go to the old method of rote learning, that when there are plural do this, when there are singular do this. Instead, we will want to do it in live demonstration. So for
So
this
one,
reason, yeah.
Harshi, so it's one day workshop is enough to be able to start speaking Sanskrit.
Yes, in fact, one day workshop, and that's what I had started my own journey, and it sounds very difficult, but that's very much doable. We have seen in more than dozens of workshops we have done. So in a day, you can start using 500 or 1000 daily use sentences. And the reason is the way it is structured. The Samskritam language is scientifically designed, and you don't need to memorize things. You need to start using it. And good thing is people who are exposed to any one Indian language, they probably know more than 50% of Sanskritam. When I say Jalam, most of the language will understand Jal, Jal, Jalam means water. So any exposure to Indian languages, it means you already know 50% of Sanskritam or more. Some languages might have up to 80% of similar vocabulary. All the Indian languages have almost similar grammar structure, and most of them have borrowed from wonderful Sanskritam. So having exposure to any Indian language already gives you a leg up. So if there are such folks, 15 of them, if we spend one full day, you will be surprised with the amazing progress you will see in that small little group in just one day. And we have seen it time and again. Yes.
Okay. Before getting into the next question, a kind note to all the audience: if you have any questions in your mind, please feel free to type on the chat window. Sonal, you can go with the next question.
So Harshi, you will help us to break the barrier that we have fear about the Sanskrit and it make it easy. But can you tell me a little bit about the history of Sanskrit, how it started, and like I heard that is like Maheshwar Sutra from Shivji, is like that's how came the Sanskrit.
Yes, in fact, there is a lot more to it, but we usually do not go too much into the grammar part and the origin part. We would rather encourage you to break the barrier from now onwards and
Okay.
go further on the spoken Sanskritam. And there are so many interesting things and so many scientific things, but we keep them for little later or little academic pursuit.
Okay.
And as I have already said in beginning, I may not be the right person. So that is one more reason I would not want to delve into that aspect of it. I am a
Okay.
chhatra, so
Okay.
I would want to make sure for several reasons we would want to
Hmm.
uh, keep it for now.
So any other like TV program or like which is running in Sanskrit which help us like we can see live like Sanskrit regular basis?
In fact, there are now I see everywhere I see a lot of Sanskritam in on the rise. So just now, Government of India has started a couple of months back uh, weekly magazine in Samskritam, weekly TV program in Samskritam, and it is called Vartavali. But apart from that, even Samskrita Bharati in USA has several such initiative. There is a podcast where there are so many children story recorded in Sanskritam. You can listen them. There is a Sambhashan Sandesh magazine that comes in Saral Sanskritam by Samskrit Bharati for several years. There is a daily newspaper, daily newspaper I know Sudharma, which has been publishing for 40 plus years in Saral Sanskritam. So there are tons of avenues, be it a website, be it an app, be it a TV program, be it a monthly, weekly magazine, be it a daily newspaper, be it for knowledge, be it for literature study, be it for mere entertainment for kids, be it for older generation. There are several avenues. There is an online radio station, Divyavani, which can be heard on TuneIn app 24 hours in so many programs out there. There is DVDs and CDs, so there is no dearth of it, and I always feel there is always lack of time for me because I am a chhatra. I want to learn more and more, and I list all these resources. Then I am now feeling, oh, I need 25 hours in a day.
Okay. So do you have like any like in modern drama or something in like Sanskrit like maybe in skirt and shorts people are doing Sanskrit drama. So like more use in like modern way.
Yes, in fact, in all of our residential camps, we have seen so many people come up with wonderful contemporary creation, and it is also from kids as well as from adult. There is
Okay.
also a Sanskrit album that was recently launched, Amarvani. There are beautiful Sanskrit songs. They are not just literary creation, but they are like wonderful album song, and I have them running in my car whenever I go around, and I really enjoy so many such things all around me.
Mhm. Okay. And is there any like globally gathering about the Sanskrit like all the like once a year, like once a few years?
Yes, in fact, there was last year in 2015, in the month of June, there was the 15th World Samskrit Conference. It was conducted in Bangkok, Thailand, where the Princess of Thailand, who is also a Sanskrit scholar, she was the host as well as the chief person of this event, the Princess of Thailand. So 2015 was the last that happened in Bangkok. It
Okay.
was there were thousands of people from all over the globe who were there, and they were talking about not only Sanskritam but all the literature that comes from Sanskritam, Vedic mathematics, be it Natya Shastra. And you would be surprised the next one is going to happen in 2018, and
Hmm.
that's going to happen in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, really?
So
That's great.
Canada is going to be the host of the next World Sanskrit Conference, which will happen
Mhm.
after 2 years.
Okay.
So we being in Canada, have even more responsibility for making ourselves ready for the World Sanskrit Conference. The people from all over the world will be talking about Sanskritam, and if we are not talking in Sanskritam, then we will probably need a very uh, nice place to hide our own faces.
So Harshit, there is one question from audience that what's your goal in like next 10 years? But now I will say what's your goal in next 2 years because that World Sanskrit gathering is happening in Canada. So what's your plan in Canada in next 2 years or maybe next 10 years?
Yes, I think a couple of months back I had a dream, and the dream was there are more than 10,000 people speaking in Samskritam, but it seems with this hangout it will very soon happen, right?
Yeah.
With this new technology, we will have much more than 10,000 folks speaking in Sanskritam. When I shout Mama Nama Harshaha, Bhavatah Nama Kim, there would be so many people shouting back. When I say Jayatu Samskritam, there would be a big roaring echo, Jayatu Samskritam, and that will happen in Vancouver, it seems, in 2018. So the goal is just Rachayamo Samskrita Vishwam. Wherever we are, in whatever small place we might be, we create a world around us which is a Samskrita Vishwam. And why Samskrita Vishwam? Samskrita Vishwam is not only just the language. With Samskritam comes Samskriti. Our Samskriti, which is timeless, which is universal, which is uplifting, which is for the benefit of the humankind, that comes along with Sanskritam. And Sanskritam is the channel. So when I say Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, the respect that I have for my mother and for my father, if everyone around us has the same respect for their parents, there need not be any other reason to worry about for future generation. Will bring Samskriti, and I might be in a small place. If I create a Samskrit Vishwam around me, that's enough goal, as I would say, for myself. So Rachayamo Samskrita Vishwam Krunvanto Vishwam Aryam.
Thank you, Harshti, so much. It's really mind-blowing to know more about Sanskrit. In fact, I just want to come to your home now and start learning Sanskrit.
Swagatam.
And thank you so much, Harshji. And I'd like to thank the audience for showing their kind support, allocating some time amid of their personal and professional tasks. And if I miss to thank volunteers, it won't be complete the meeting. I'll like to thank the key volunteers, Lakshmi, Mahesh, Sonal, and myself, Shakti. At the end, I like to turn over the mic to our president of Overseas Volunteers for Better India, Canada Zone, Bhavik Parekh. Bhavik Parekh, president of OBI, Canada. Hello, Bhavik.
Thank you, Shakti. Thank you so much. Sorry, maybe I may not have the right light here. But yeah, thank you so much for the amazing hangout. धन्यवाद हर्ष जी, आपका बहुत ही बढ़िया हैंगआउट था, हमको बहुत ही पसंद आया एंड मैं चाहूँगा कि आप बार बार यहाँ पे आए और हमको संस्कृत भाषा की तरफ और थोड़ा ज्ञान दो रहे. But thank you so much again, everyone. The whole panel was really good, and we will be back again. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
And before ending this call in another few seconds, and I'd like to request the audience to spread the word about this hangout and consider bringing more people to this hangout so that we can happily spread the knowledge. Like I said before, one of the greatest service that you can render to humanity is spreading the knowledge. Thank you all. This will mark the completion of this hangout.
Yes. Dhanyavad.